About that time, everybody. 11 o'clock. It's live at Discord covering up the cam there. I would do what you were gonna do, but that's impossible to do with Shootbot, by the way. Just FYI. You still muted, boy. This is botched.
What?
Steven's muted.
My bad. I fucked it up.
It's fine. But you see, the thing is, we can just kill it. It's gonna be abrupt. Now, I was gonna let you know, with turning down Jutebot, it doesn't do the next volume tick until you turn it down, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I did that last time on my solo stream. Nobody was here to appreciate the nod of not abrupt music ending, but I had a YouTube video up and I just did it manually. But unfortunately, because Discord doesn't let you turn it down notch by notch, we're shit out of luck, boys. So abrupt it is. Nobody cares. So what do we got? Let's see. I'm just gonna move my Discord to the other side here. What do we got on tab tonight? Before we get to what it is, we gotta at least go through the rounds. How was your day, Steven? Another typical day?
Yeah, it's a pretty typical day.
I feel you.
Nothing special.
Just
They had $1 Mexi dips and chips at
oh yeah.
Bueno because it
Are you
was
serious?
chips and dip day. Yep, get Shrek'd. Not anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, we have 1 hour left, but you're podcasting, so.
Be right back.
$1.
I'm gonna join Discord on my phone.
The only person in here that doesn't need the fucking coupon clip or hunt for deals is Anthony. So just go buy your fucking Mexican dips and chips for full price tomorrow. Be a real American. Other than that, that's I myself. Not a great day, honestly. Just whatever. Pins can only pull out 1 point tonight due to 8 people out of the lineup. The third worst possible situation happened in the Columbus Capital game. It went to fucking overtime, but thankfully the Capitals won. The best possible situation would have been if the Capitals won, or if the best possible situation would have been a Blue Jackets victory in regulation. Second best would have been a Capitals victory in regulation. Third best, Capitals winning in OT. Fourth best, Jackets winning in OT, because both those teams are in the same division as the Penguins, and they're all within 3 points of each other right now. And there's only 8 more games left, or so, 8, 10 games, something like that, to the playoffs. So my night, average, not much. Anthony's day, probably hot in the shop. What's it up? What's up? How was the shop today?
It was fucking awful. We found out that we have like 22 pallets worth of shit coming in tomorrow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna be.
If they need any help,
they had a convention and they were like, hey, if you guys want to come down, if you place an order for like $2,200, we'll pay for your booth and your room and your hotel stay. We'll pay for fucking everything. And Bob was like, well, I can do that. That's fucking easy.
right?
And then the people that went with him just let him do that. And now we're fucked tomorrow. And it's supposed to rain, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, it is supposed to rain tomorrow, but I don't think it's actually going to hit us that good. I think the bulk of the the shit will actually go past us before it actually starts coming down. That's my guess, based on what I saw on the forecast. Not a very good guess, I know.
I hope it does rain.
It'd be nice.
It'll not be as hot.
Yeah, right, of course. Make sure people are turned up. You were peeking my, what's it called on the OBS?
Who, Anthony?
Yeah, but I had my.
Anthony's always loud as shit.
No, I know.
I'm
There's
always
no
fucking
balancing
loud.
Anthony.
Fuck that.
The thing is, I had my windows turned up to like 95 or whatever. I turn it down to prevent that. So yeah, average day around the board. Anybody in chat having a good day, bad day? I don't see much out there. We got Dim Roops in the chat. We got Jordan in the chat. I don't see Black Cat. What the fuck? I don't see Justin. What the fuck? I don't see Clint. What the fuck? Guys, Cody.
Fucking calling
Fuck.
people out.
Fuck. We need view bots. No. Good.
We need to buy them.
No, we don't need to buy them. I'm just saying, I do the show for the friends, for the community, the small little community that we have going here. It got a little lighter this week, LOL. So, first topic. Since we don't have too many people in the chat, what do you want to go with? Do you have a topic, by the way, Gorn? I was curious if you had a mystery topic, or were you just freestyling?
Did
you have anything in mind?
Shower. I wanted to talk about my recent decision to go permanently standard in Hearthstone.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I think that was the best thing that I could have done. Because I've always just not really played Hearthstone hardcore. I get into it every time a new expansion drops or a new set.
Right.
And I get a couple of packs, and then I burn out, and I stop. And every time I want to play Hearthstone, it's like, okay, what's a good deck for me to make right now? And then it's either you or I go to Hearthpwn, and I look at what you recommend me to make, and I'm like, okay, so I only have like 22 out of the 30 cards that you just said to get. And so 9 times out of 10, I just can't make a viable deck. So I was like, I'm just gonna because I only play standard anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna destroy all of my wild cards. And I got a shitload of dust from it, and I just went permanently standard last night.
It's a good.
Finally made like a Jade Golem deck.
Yeah, it's a good move. In your case, because like you said, you're only gonna pay in a little bit here and there. And on top of that, it makes it easier to keep up with
And I was just thinking, every time there's a new year, like Year of the Mammoth's coming up, every time there's a new season, I get to just dust all of my cards, and I get to go into the new season with just a shitload of dust.
Yeah, and with that dust, you can leverage maybe 2 or 3 decks depending on which legendaries you choose to craft and that kind of thing. So just having 2 or 3 comparable decks makes the game obviously much more enjoyable. It's just that's all there is to it. Like right now with you dusting all that and just you have enough dust to start making another class or another deck or whatever. But the one that you made, I would just play with that one for the next couple of weeks because the rotation's going out, and even that one you're using a couple of cards that are going to get rotated out still.
So that's a lesson to everybody who plays free to play Hearthstone right now. If you don't have a lot of money to buy packs with, and you also just don't want to.
Uh-oh, we got a loss of audio. Oh, we're good now.
Oh no.
He's plugging it in. But yeah, to finish up his statement, yeah, exactly. The lesson is just if you're frustrated.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. If you're frustrated with, I was finishing up your statement. If
Okay.
you're frustrated with trying to gain all these packs, obviously, if you have any sort of a collection right now, going forward, if you want to remain mostly free to play, especially if you are 100% free to play, you gotta just say fuck wild. You gotta just dust that shit because you're not helping yourself having like a half free to play wild. Like you either buy enough cards to have enough of a wild presence to where you can go in there and have fun with some whatever deck, or you just dust that shit because you got to start the grind over in terms of building up the Young Girl collection coming up.
Right.
Anthony played, to keep it on your topic for a little bit, Anthony played Hearthstone quite a bit at its launch, and Kristen played a lot too. even more so than him, because she would play on the iPad and stuff. Her collection's actually pretty good, but yeah, she did actually fully stop playing, if I recall correctly, Anthony, right? Like a year ago or so. And
she moved on to like some Disneyland game.
Yeah, that is fucking. See, that's where it's like, dude, can I trade can you dust those cards for half as less value and just trade it to somebody else? Like, that's sad because her account has I mean, obviously not a lot of the newer shit like Gadgetzan, obviously no, but and probably no Whispers, maybe a little, I don't know, but regardless, before that, got a pretty decent collect. I mean, that you can easily run some wild decks, Mech Mage, Secret Paladin. That account can run that kind of stuff. It's just, it sucks to see accounts go dormant. Like, I know that you, Anthony, play every now and again, but you obviously aren't going to put in shitloads of the game because you don't play it. You wouldn't play it enough to justify. And you also, you're quick on the trigger with dusting. You don't give a flying fuck. You'll dust some shit. I have a hard time.
I'll dust a whole class.
Yeah, you'll just say, fuck this. I don't want to play this class ever. I did that once with Rogue, and I'm to the point where I regret it now. I severely regret dusting Rogue. But I did it to get ahead in a way for Dustin to, it allowed me to make good cards that made me want to play the game more. Because I was at a point where it was like, I don't want to have to buy in more, because it was probably the Grand Tournament or something, and I had 60 packs, and it's like, I don't want to have to buy 60 more packs, because after the first little bulk buy, when a set comes out, it feels really bad going in for a second run, because you're just buying for basically dust. Because your chances of pulling the rare, the epics, legendaries, and I mean, if you buy 60 packs, you're pretty much getting all the rares. But the second 60 pack, the chances of you pulling the epics or the legendaries that you need are so slim. You probably just pull the ones you already got. You're buying for dust, and it feels terrible because, it's just at such a loss. I wish you could buy individual. That's where paper card games, you don't feel bad buying another box of boosters because you have value in that you can go trade or buy singles or whatever. I feel like, now this may sound crazy, but maybe if you buy bulk packs, let's say if you buy at least X amount of packs, 60 at launch, your next 60 is half off. Honest to God, I don't think that would be... Now, I know they're going to think that's stupid because most people are just like, I don't care if I have to throw down $300, $400 every expansion to make sure I get them all. Well, that's not the majority of people. That's the benefited people that either make a living off of it streaming or just have excessive disposable income and can make that decision, even if it's a bad one. But I think it would be arguable to have the second bulk 60 that you buy, let's say, if you buy 60 within the first week of the expansion, your next 60 is 50% off, because you're not going to get much out of that. That next 60 is just buying dust, and you're only getting 25% value of a card when you dust it, unless it's gold. So it feels really bad. That's why I like the mentality of get a bulk amount at the start of the expansion. And I didn't do this with Whispers, but with Un'Goro, I'm going to be opening up a 152 is on track, and then I'm not even going to spend gold on a single other Un'Goro pack. I'm just, from the day after Un'Goro launches to the next expansion, that gold's getting saved for the next set, because after that 152, the one pack that I trickle in, I'll buy, let's say the next 10 days I buy one pack a day with gold because I grind enough. The 90% chance, I mean, that's a statistic I'm pulling out of my ass, but the overwhelming odds are that pack is 40 dust, 40 dust, 40 dust, 40. That's gay. Nobody cares. So I think they should do somewhat of a discount. The more you buy, the cheaper the pack gets. Even with gold. Let's say if your account has opened 300 packs of a certain set, okay, now that pack is only let's say it caps at 30. It doesn't get down to 5 gold, but it makes sense because there is no trading and stuff.
Because eventually, yeah, like you said, just buying dust. So right. I think, because I mean, you can track it with Innkeeper, but it's not far-fetched to think that Blizzard also just has your numbers behind a screen. Mm-hmm. That's this player has, how many fucking cards is there going to be in Un'Goro? 100?
Probably about 135.
Okay, so in Un'Goro, once you get, I mean, it'll just be incremental. like let's say you have 120 out of 135. That's like the cap. You like you said, it'd be 30 gold per pack. And if it's going to be 130 cards, let's say you had like 65 cards, they're going to be 50 gold a pack because you have half as many cards as it takes to complete the set.
Yeah. I
So-
feel like that would just be fair, honestly.
You can't do it with money though, but gold, because I will give them that, like, okay, if you want to drop actual money on the game, you're dropping some money, but the people who want to grind and use their gold,
Yeah,
make it cheaper with gold.
at least something.
I think
Anything. Overall, Hearthstone's a really great game. I obviously, personally, will recommend it a lot. And
And you know why that's a better deal is because, well, I mean, the only way to it's not like you can fucking swipe your credit card and get some gold in your Hearthstone wallet. You have to play the game to get gold. So I think making it cheaper, but only with gold, is fair because, like I said, you gotta play the game to get gold, anyways. So
Yeah.
they're getting people playing their game.
Right.
It's a good trade-off.
Overall, Hearthstone is really good, but I feel like they're in such a good position that they kind of know, deep down they know that they can really they don't need to give people too great of deals, right? Because they know people are going to pay these deals. Whereas you see like
Yeah.
Shadowverse and Gwent, I don't know anything about Gwent, but I know Shadowverse is extremely fair, and the Ferraria game, and then the Elder Scrolls, like the fucking card games are coming out of the woodworks because it's like, I smell that Blizzard dollar that they're making on Hearthstone. Now these other companies are giving like seriously better rewards for just like in-game rewards for playing the game, whereas Blizzard gives you what, a pack a week from Brawl, and then every month you get a season box that just has golden cards. Like, guys, God, can that season box be like packs and gold? Like, can we liven it up? Can there be a little more? Like, not this little tiny trickle of gold for quests. Like, I just wish there was more reward, because even if let's say you tripled or even quadrupled the amount of gold and gold cards or the rewards out of the game, especially in ranked mode, because there's almost no incentive to play at all, only arena, which is gambling your gold anyway, which is fine. You're putting up 150 to enter. But the thing is, if they quadrupled the amount of rewards you got, I promise you they wouldn't see any drop off in terms of pay coming in. People would still buy packs. They'd just be happy to grind out more or whatever. Like, yes, sure, the extreme cases where, like in my situation, I would be able to have the luxury to buy less packs. But overall, I'm telling you, most people would still just lay down their whatever, $100, $200, $60, $40 that they do at the release of any given set. I'm pretty sure they would just make as much money. So I wish they would be a little lenient.
On that, I always gamble. I always play the arena. It's a little bit extra gold for slightly better rewards with my luck anyway.
So you're saying you would never buy a pack for 100 gold?
No, I'm just saying I don't.
You would do.
I would rather play the arena.
Yeah, I mean, you get to play the arena, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, the arena is fine. I think, but you like going 0-3 is a loss of gold though. Like you get a pack in like a
I think you have
bit.
to. Somebody, I was watching a video the other day, and the guy said you have to get at least 6 wins in arena to go even in gold. I mean, you get other shit too, but if you want to make purely gold back from the arena, you have to get at least 6 wins, which is not far-fetched to say that it's above average to get 6 wins at every time to make your gold back.
They can't take a chance now that they're owned by Activision. True that. I disagree completely. I think Blizzard has total creative control outside of Activision. I don't think that there's just this Activision hand that just says, hey, I mean, I guess in a way, it's not them saying that, but yes, they want to show good numbers and whatever, but honestly, I don't think giving a little bit more rewards in Hearthstone would be quote-unquote taking a chance. You're still going to bring home the fucking bank. It's Hearthstone. Okay, like, they're not going to just give a couple of awards out and be like, holy shit, we sold 50% less packs this time around. There's no way that's happening. It's just, that's not going to be the case. But with that being said, I'm staying 100% spoiler-free, 99% spoiler-free, with the X-Pack. but I asked Anthony to spoil just 5 cards starting 2 days ago, leading up to the expansion because I needed something. So he's gonna spoil like a common. Tomorrow is the second common. I got a common spoiled the other day, and then I'm gonna get 1 rare, 1 epic, and 1 legendary. And then after legendary, only 2 more days till I open the set. So I'm staying spoiler free because I want it to just be more enjoyable to open the packs. But this is the first card that he spoiled for me. I'm gonna pull it up really fast. Flame Geyser. 2 mana, 2 damage. Add a 1/2 elemental to your hand. I don't know if that 1/2 elemental costs 1 mana, 0 mana. Obviously, it probably costs 1 mana. Otherwise, you'd have to. Maybe it's 0. I really doubt it. But first impressions on this card is that it sucks ass. Like, honestly. Like, I don't see it getting play. 2 mana, 2 damage. You got 1 mana, 2 damage out of Arcane Blast with an effect. I think it needs to be 1 mana, or I think it needs to summon the 1/2 on the board. The first thing that comes to mind when I look at this card is the Shuriken card for Rogue. 2 mana, 2 damage if you comboed activated Jade. This is a 1/2 no matter what. It can never be a bigger Jade, and it goes to your hand. So,
and even if it had spell power, it wouldn't be like add a 2/3 elemental to your hand. It's still just
that crossed my mind too. If the spell power affected the elemental, that would be cool. But obviously, it's not going to.
Yeah.
And even if it did, it wouldn't be broken at all. That wouldn't even be broken. Like that would be completely fine. But when I look at this card, I see, I like that there's elementals. Hopefully, Mage doesn't suck because I feel like they're pretty crappy unless you're playing Reno right now, and that's like the second-rate redheaded stepchild Reno compared to the Warlock. So, I mean, I like thematically cool, but it's like this needs to be 1 mana, or it needs to summon the 1/2 on the board when you play it. End of story. Otherwise, it's just not going to be good enough. That's my guess. It just will not be good enough. So that's that for Hearthstone right now. Moving on to Anthony. I need it.
Shit.
I need your topic.
Oh man.
I need a topic. Yeah.
The funny thing is that Jordan is sitting like 6 feet from me, and as soon as I say this out loud, he's gonna start fucking laughing because
Okay.
I contribute to this problem.
No, I know you do. But yeah. But I mean, well,
The topic is
I wouldn't say.
when did gaming communities become so toxic?
When did gaming communities become so toxic? You say.
Yes.
You go. You hit the floor first. Do you have any opening remarks? I don't want to just take your topic and run with it because I would slam jam it down the toilet.
I'm a really big problem with this. Like, there are some nights where I can play and everything's fine and everything's great, but there's some days where I'll play Dota with Jordan and it's just like the second somebody does anything wrong, it just shits on my whole night and I am fucking raging for the rest of the night. And I don't know if that's just like I have problems with Dota or if I just have problems in general.
Mm-hmm.
I
wouldn't say you have problems either way. I think it's natural. I'm just saying.
And so I was thinking about it. So I did a little bit of a research, and it looks like the clear consensus on some of the top most toxic communities is actually Halo, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Dota, and Minecraft. And I didn't even see Minecraft coming, but I was reading a couple stories of people just like getting absolutely demolished on some servers, and I'm like, I don't know if that's like blaming the victim if I say, hey, maybe you don't join like random ass servers and stuff like that.
True, because Minecraft is not affiliated with these servers at all. The servers that this toxic, quote unquote, interactions are going on in is just third party hosted. Like it has nothing to do with official Minecraft at all. That's just totally on the user. I can see where Minecraft hits that list just because probably just kids and or people going on to pick on kids or just screw with people, easy targets, and or kids being kids, like whatever. I don't really see that being a bad thing. Overall, I don't want to jump on this yet. I want Goran. Do you have anything to add?
Just the being toxic about Are we talking about Minecraft or just in
Just
general?
in general,
In
the
general.
toxicity of gaming or
I
whatever.
think the other day, I don't know if this was on, I don't think it was on cast, but I think the other day you brought up the somebody in the Gears Discord was talking about toxic community in general, and there's a difference between like, oh, I don't know, somebody adding you and harassing you after a game,
Yeah.
and like totally unwarranted behavior. It could be seen as toxic, but like, I don't know, somebody who gloats after a match, like not just one-on-one PMs you and says, "Yeah, I just beat you, I won." That could be seen as, okay, quit. You need to not, don't make it so personal. You're literally private messaging somebody, rubbing their face in it. But if you just finish a game and you're just in open mic in a lobby in Xbox Live and you're just like, "Yeah, we won," and somebody's like, "Don't gloat. You're being toxic. You're rubbing everyone's faces in it." It's like, I'm excited because I just won a game.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people mistake toxicity for, when people gloat in the lobby after a game. And,
Right.
and obviously that can get a little out of hand too. But I think most of the time when, I mean, you're online and you're playing with people from the ages of like 15 to 30, you're going to hear swear words. So if somebody wants to incorporate swearing into their gloating, it's probably going to happen. But I'd say unless they like directly make fun of you or like private message you, it's probably not toxic.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, just DMing somebody or messaging somebody after a game, be it on your team or not, is going to be viewed as quote unquote toxic. Like, that's the terminology. It really bothers me to use that term. Like, you're being toxic. The terminology is makes me want to shake my fucking head. But back on the point, somebody did bring up how toxic the Gears of War community was. And this is the reply that I had to them at the time. This was about 2 weeks ago. I said, Gears of War is a player versus player multiplayer shooter. There is little to no reason to say the community, quote unquote, is toxic because of the actions of one or a couple anonymous people online inside or outside of the game. I don't even think using the term community for a game that doesn't have some kind of persistent world or dependency on working together outside of just for the small length of time that it takes to compete in a single match at random is right. You can try all you want to invite new players and teach them or whatnot. At the end of the day, you either care to get better at the game or you don't and leave. And eventually leave once you've had your fill of the game. This community, quote unquote, for Gears, isn't any more or less toxic as it was back in the year 2006 whenever Gears of War 1 first launched. Which leads me into my main point. Gaming is not any more toxic, quote unquote, than it was 20 years ago. People are still people, and people can get upset with each other, and that's all there is to it. That can happen while playing a game. Just because now we have this like politically correct like wave of thinking because of all these X or Y reasons that I'm not going to get into on this podcast because fuck you. That wave of thinking has infiltrated everybody's mindsets, or not everybody's, but a lot of people's mindsets, and people just get offended too easy about things. Now, that doesn't mean that the gaming community is toxic, but as Teddy Bear pointed out as the topic, I'm not saying he says it is, that's the word on the street. I mean, most people do think gaming is more toxic. It's not at all, in my opinion, any more toxic than it ever was.
I may have like an extra edge on this. Like you said, people nowadays are getting offended by stuff that they shouldn't, or maybe they're getting offended by stuff that they should get offended by, but maybe too easily.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know, maybe like, for example, a random guy, well, not random, I mean, he's a manager at my work.
Right.
We're in the back, so like, anything flies mostly back there. But he just kind of backhandedly called me a pussy because I was having trouble lifting something.
Yeah.
And if somebody on Xbox Live called me a pussy, it would just go right under the bridge. I don't care.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's my manager, or not my manager, but he's a manager, and he's not, like, we don't talk ever. So, and it was really out of place because it's like, I'm at work right now.
Yeah.
Like, the people I work with
Kind of took you back.
We call each other names all the time.
Right.
It doesn't bother us just because we're friends. But in a place where you expect to not be called a pussy and somebody does it, it's like I'm not personally offended because that word doesn't bother me. But it's a little weird that you're gonna just do it at work when you don't really know the person receiving it. So I think maybe some people put themselves in a kind of, I don't know. I think everybody online or Xbox Live wants to be treated as somebody who is like, okay, so after the game is done, we're going to shake each other's hands, we're going to pat each other on the back.
Yeah, that doesn't even happen.
We're going to hand out participation trophies.
That doesn't even happen in professional sports. So,
yeah.
Unless it's the end of a playoff matchup that has come to a conclusion and one team is moving on, nobody gives a shit. You just
it's like
you win or lose.
Everybody on Xbox Live wants to be treated as if they're not sitting on a fucking beanbag chair with a Coca-Cola next to them.
Yeah.
And they're not even wearing a shirt. Like, you're not here to be treated like a professional player. You're playing Call of Duty, and if someone calls you a pussy or calls you bad at the game, like,
it's to be expected.
And if it's just do it back to them. I mean,
just do whatever you want to do. There's so many things in your power. You can mute. You can just not listen to chat. You can partake in it yourself. Sometimes it's fun. Gears 1. I mean, there was some absolutely amazingly hilarious shit talk wars back in Gears 1 because of the way the lobby system worked, and it was all in good fun. Honestly, most of the time, people didn't go to bed wanting to slit somebody's throat. They just, generally were like at odds with each other, trying to win a ranked match. This is natural. More to what I was saying. I think overall, I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but I think overall, like I said, I don't think anything's getting more toxic. I just think the way that people are perceiving it is different now. Now, there's obviously better and worse games, right? And the second part of Anthony's topic that I would leading into now with this is developer intervention on this. I mean, is it up to the developers to do X, Y, or Z to prevent such things? I don't think it's in the right mindset for the developer to intervene and try to stamp out toxic behavior. Something I've always thought Nintendo did not really well, because I'm not a fan of it, but something that they have just done and implemented forever. It, like, if you play a game on Wii or Wii U and you're using you're getting online and like going and playing with somebody or a group of people, like isn't Splatoon, there's no voice chat in Splatoon, and I don't know if it's on purpose or what, but like definitely now I think Nintendo is, I don't know what they're going to do with their newest online system, but they probably released Splatoon with no voice chat because they just didn't even think about it. Yeah.
And then somebody may have said, hey, did you release that with no voice chat because the gaming community is so toxic and you just really don't know what anyone's going to say? And this is a children's game, so you can't bleep people on the fly. So we can't just have people coming in here and yelling curse words and stuff at all the children.
Right.
So,
of course, that, in my opinion, Nintendo, I mean, it's a fucking competitive multiplayer shooter. No voice chat, no buy. Like, geez. Right. Do you think that they did it on purpose because they're thinking, yes, we don't want people 100%, that was the reason.
We don't want people swearing at each other in a Nintendo kids game.
Yes, of course. That is 100% the reason. And it's just that's just stupid. Again,
and Nintendo they said they're going to revise, or not revise, but they're rolling out a new kind of like Xbox Live where you got to pay for the subscription, right? I mean, you'd think that if you're going to pay for the subscription, you're going to be able to voice chat.
Yeah, they should have it, but
they have to have that in there.
They don't have to, but
I know they don't have to, but I'm saying they really, really should if they're going to make you pay for it.
I agree. They need to have that, but I'm not going to give Nintendo too much of a spotlight. I'm just going to slap their ass really fast because they're gay. That shit is not going to be good, I promise you. But yes, for the most part, that is Nintendo coming in and saying, we're going to be the parent here and say, you can't talk online, because some people will say, fuck ass shit, nigger, bitch, fuck, cunt lord. And then you're like, oh my god, I'm just trying to play Splatoon. Like, nobody cares. Like, just don't. That's stupid. The Nintendo is the extreme example of that.
It should at least be like, okay, you get a Nintendo for Hayden, and she wants to play online, and you say, okay, let's make a profile for you. You make her make your character and everything.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little checkbox when you're making the profile for your
Yeah.
child that says, I am under the age of 18. And you click that checkbox, and she can't talk to anybody.
Yeah. In a perfect world, she would only play with people under a certain age, but there's just not enough
Right.
player pool for that.
Right.
Mothers of 10-year-olds might care, says Black Cat. Well, then the mothers of 10-year-olds can just not buy that person a video game console that connects to the internet. It's as simple as that. Nintendo gets some praise from these mothers of 10-year-olds that you say, but it's at such a detriment to the overall experience. There's going to be people, I mean, I can get on Xbox and play Gears and within minutes hear somebody get upset. Now, for the most part, I don't even really hear it anymore because there's party chat. Again, we went over this last podcast or the one before, I can't remember.
It was the one last podcast last week.
Yeah, so you're not really going to hear too much of it anymore because of the party chat problem. But second in the line, and I'm not making this up, but like when I think of developers trying to stamp out toxicity in gaming, I think of League of Legends, and I don't know very much about any of their practices, but I know they have bans and really strict rule, and it's like, with that, also, I'm kind of against it. I don't think, again, I would rather them just develop games in a way that just naturally incentivizes not being an asshole. Rather than just say, here's our game, if you're an asshole, we're going to ban you, and if you're an asshole again, we're going to ban you, and we're going to have this like banning it's like, just seriously, like people getting banned for saying curse words or getting upset on a game, it to me is just stupid. It's absolutely dumb because the other person that's mad about that has all the tools that they need to not interact with that or just not
you
play.
can turn off profanity filter. You can mute people.
You can not chat. You can turn off chat. There's so many options in any given game that I feel like, I mean, sure, in a perfect world, there wouldn't be as much bitching and stuff, but there's naturally going to be, competitive tension whenever it's a player versus player game. So, maybe we can get onto it after this, but is there toxicness in like communities that aren't even player versus player? Because like World of Warcraft, for example, even outside of PvP, there's a lot of toxicity, quote unquote, in the community because
just people doing shit like on purpose.
Right.
People doing things wrong on purpose just to upset the other people is the version of toxicity you're looking for when you're talking about like Minecraft. Minecraft being toxic is you just start griefing people's houses just for no reason.
Now that's going to always be a thing. Trolls are going to exist. People are going to get their high out of like messing with people. I mean, obviously you can just ignore them to your best of your ability and go about your day. That's the way to handle those things. But in a developer sense, back to the second point of Anthony's topic, I think that it's not necessarily in their right mind to just develop or to just punish people being toxic. I just want to develop gameplay systems that naturally prioritize not being toxic or not being assholes to each other. And like for WoW's case, the easy one is just to not have so many easy routes to just queue up for dungeons and stuff. If you go back to pre-Dungeon Finder, all this extra help to get everybody and their grandma on a stroller along through the dungeon experience, if you go back to pre 3.0 and especially you have players having to communicate with each other to see if they want to do something with each other, because that's a big part of this thing. Even like in a dungeon on WoW, not a PvP experience, it's a cooperative experience, right? The main reason why tempers can flare is I want to do the dungeon this way, and he wants to do it that way. We're both in the dungeon. I think my way is better than his, so we're going to have a fucking dick measuring contest about it. Well, guess what? That would never even be a thing if the game was just developed properly and just made to where you have to form your own group, go to the Summoning Stone, be with people you like, in like interests, because you're going to automatically disassociate with the people that are negative. With random matchmaking, you have no choice to associate, but to have to associate with people that are negative. There's the negative people. There, I would say, is the same amount of negative people 20 years ago or 10 years ago in gaming. It's just now it may seem more toxic because of all these gameplay systems being in matchmaking, so much more to where you don't really have a choice but to have to interact with those people. Because if
Something that used to be enforced a lot back in the day, that like, well, I mean, I say back in the day because I was too young to ever do it, and that was why it was enforced on me. But like, when you go into a store and you buy something that's rated M, it
Mhm.
means that you have to be 18 to play the game
yes,
because of the themes and stuff that goes on in the game. And even then, if you buy a game like Modern Warfare, fucking whatever number they're on,
yeah,
and you look at the back, it'll say rated M, and then at the bottom it says, online interactions are not rated by the ERSB. You know why? Because it's way too hard to
can't.
do that.
Yeah,
And so
you can't.
that label should. I mean, that what it means is, hey, you're getting into who the fuck knows what when you play online.
yeah,
So
exactly.
if somebody complains about what happens online, it's like
That's the cover them. That's
you're
the
getting in. You got into it.
right,
You
exactly.
opted into fucking plugging an Ethernet cable into your Xbox.
Right, you can't just get online and then bitch about it being toxic and people being banned or systems need to change. No. If you're that person, just stay offline. The world will be better for you and better without you online because there won't be any complications. You won't be able to get offended. You won't be able to get upset, and we'll go about our lives. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
With,
have? Yeah. Go
with,
ahead.
with what the devs have been doing in Dota for a while is, and in League as well. I guess MOBAs in general is probably a better statement.
Right.
Is they're trying to make the new players learn the game,
Mhm.
because even in Dota, I just asked Jordan. I'm just like, I just hit the buttons and make the items go.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like subtle nuances and stuff that like I don't even understand. And when I play in the higher MMRs and stuff like that, like I have to just force myself to just recognize that maybe the guy on the other end of the keyboard knows more than me.
Mhm.
But in lower MMRs, when I play with Hayden, it's like, okay, guys, could we just talk to each other and come up with a plan?
Right.
And a lot of like my toxicness stems from just I get into the game and I start talking to people and I find out that 3 of them don't speak English,
Yeah.
or 4 of them don't have mics. I'm playing on PC. Why don't you have a microphone?
Right.
And so it's like I don't when shit like that happens. It's like why are you playing a game without the ability to communicate to your teammates?
Yeah, I have the same feelings. and-
Not only that, but you chimed in last week about running Ragefire Chasm with a guy who's never played World of Warcraft before, and he falls in the lava, and you're like, let's just kick this asshole.
Yep,
It's like,
I don't have time
he's
for
not
this.
being an asshole. He just doesn't know how to play the game, and this is the first
Okay.
dungeon you can do, and so
Right. That's where Anthony obviously is in the wrong, but it is a completely different situation because, see, Anthony. If you ask Anthony, the guy should know how to do Raise Fire Chasm because if
Right.
there wasn't Group Finder, Anthony
Right.
wouldn't have grouped with that guy. Now there.
that guy would have never stepped foot in Ragefire Chasm.
If there was no group finder, it would have been, hey, have you run this dungeon before? Because you whispered me and you want to do this. And when he says no, I'm immediately disengaged from being triggered because he's been upfront with me about it.
Yeah. See, now Anthony comes off as this big, scary, mean, asshole black guy. But honestly, I've been playing games with him long enough, and that's true. Like, as long as you're upfront with him, he'll wipe with you for hours. He'll lose with you in gears for hours. He'll fucking get no kills in a wingman through 8 fucking rounds, and I'll still lose the game. My back will hurt, but he won't be an asshole to you. He's
and my
normally an
back will
asshole.
hurt.
He's normally an asshole whenever people are not upfront with him about it, and people are just generally not upfront because of the anonymous side of random matchmaking. Now in Dota, I'm very much more on Anthony's side because it's like, look, first of all, you don't even fucking speak English. Like, this might be on Valve, I don't know, but it sucks when you can't even communicate with them because they have a language barrier. That's strike 1. Strike 2, if they don't have mics, why are you playing a game in a ranked mode without trying to give it... If you're queuing up for ranked in anything that has chat or microphone available, just please do it. because you're trying to win.
That should be an option through Steam. For any game that Steam offers, it should be like when you install Steam on your computer, the fucking program, and you're doing setup, it shouldn't default to English. It should just default to nothing, and it just says, what language would you like us to install the game or to install Steam in?
Yeah.
Because that's an option when it's like, what's your country? If you switch your country of installation, it usually switches the what you call it, the language. So what, just before you install Steam, it just, when you're going through the steps, what folder do you want to install it to, it just says what language do you want, and it shouldn't pick English automatically. It should just say nothing.
Yeah, I bet
You're forced to pick a language.
Yeah, but
Doesn't
okay, the
default.
people that are not talking English in Dota, Anthony, what are they primarily?
For us, it's usually people from South America.
Right. So they would pick Portuguese or Spanish or whatever the fuck they want to pick, and whenever they queue into random matchmaking, it should only throw them into lobbies with the other people who
But see-
installed Steam
but
with
here-
fucking Portuguese or Spanish.
Here's where that falls. Here's where that crumbles. Is do they? How many? Again, if you don't know off the top of your head, it's fine. But how many? Do you know how many different servers there are to connect to play ranked Dota games?
There's one in South America. There's two in the States. There's two for Europe. There's like one per major city in China, and then there's a few in like the Asian side of the country.
Right. So
But
there is a South American server, and there's South
Yes.
American players connecting to either U.S. Central, West, East, or wherever it's based in,
Right.
and they're playing on those servers and not the South American server. See, that cannot happen. There needs to be limits.
Earlier in Dota 2's lifespan, there wasn't a server in South America, and we were getting those players, and everyone was pissed. So Valve put a server down there, and it was like, oh, that's fine. But that server it had problems because it's in South America. So Steam had to go back down there and spend more money. And so it's just like, when you don't have a server down there, I understand this is the closest server to you, but just please. And the thing is that you have a chat wheel for like quick commands and stuff like that. You can actually just put in English characters.
Right.
So if you wanted to play the game, if I wanted to go to China and play the game there, I could, and I would just copy, like go to Google, put all of my commands in there, and then copy and paste the Chinese characters into the game, and then just be like, I don't speak Chinese. I just want to let you guys know. But
Yeah.
I'll be able to say, hey, let's go.
Right.
Or, hey, I'm going back to base. Or, hey, I fucked up, my bad.
Right. Now, so would you say it's better, worse, or the same after the servers? Is it about the same amount of?
It's better.
Okay,
but
so at
you
least it's
can't
better.
Play on US East. You have
Right.
to play on US West.
Which for us is like almost no difference.
Yeah.
If there's U.S. East and West, you generally get like a micro better ping to East from here, but it's like to the point where there's no negligible difference. You can't really tell. I guess depending on the game. From Gears of War, there is U.S. East and West, and they're identical ping 99% of the time. And the 1% of the time they're not, like U.S. East is like 5 faster, and that's it. So
I don't think it's unreasonable to ask if there was somebody in your game who doesn't speak English, and I mean, let's pretend he can speak Spanish and English, and you're like, hey, can you hear me right now? Do you speak English? Do you understand what I'm saying? And he just keeps playing the game. He doesn't perk up. He hears you, but he doesn't give a shit.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't want to ban the guy, but can I put a note on his thing that says either never match me with this player again, or can you look into this guy? And then the reason would just be like, he's not speaking my language, or
Right,
he
it's
just isn't communicating.
It's unsporting behavior. That's all there is to it.
Unsupporting behavior.
Even if it's not with malicious intent, it's unsporting behavior. I mean, there's times. I mean, I file unsporting behavior complaints almost every single ranked match because somebody will AFK, and it's just like, I know these don't do anything, but it's like, just all I ask from people is just to give it their effort. If they're willing to queue up for a ranked match, give your best effort. Make minimal callouts based on the map. and just try to win the game. But inevitably, there's nobody talks, or somebody AFKs and spawn for like 5 seconds every time he spawns. It's like, dude, your attention span is not on winning this ranked match, and that just deteriorates the experience for everybody else playing this ranked match.
Yeah.
In Gears of War, I literally have more competitive matches in social because the people that are playing social like it because it's rolling lobbies, it's faster, it's less downtime, and on top of that, you generally are okay with the guy that goes okay with AFK and social because it's like, oh, it's social. But honestly, more people AFK and try less in actual ranked on Gears than social, and it's just like ass backwards. It's like, why even have? You made the suggestion the other week. Just there shouldn't even be, in my opinion, there shouldn't even be two. There should only be one. If it's Gears of War Online, it should only be one playlist. You can call it whatever the fuck you want, but it has a ranking system. You can hide it or not. I do not care, but there only needs to be one playlist per thing, not multiple. Not like I play social because I don't try. People say I don't try, so I'm going to go play social. And when you play ranked is like when you're supposed to try. Yet every time I try to reach out to somebody, because I reached out to somebody that was AFK and barely even trying and making ridiculously stupid plays on a Gears of War match like a couple of weeks ago, just going in 1v3 willy-nilly, ended up like 3-18 just through the game because he's just playing like it's a social match. I was like, hey, is there any reason why you can't just surely there's better decision making you could do in some of these plays. You could have limited your deaths. And it's like, LOL, I play what I want, LOL, I don't have to try. It's like, this is ranked. So Warren's like sarcastic recommendation was to say, okay, fuck the word social and ranked. It should be try and not try. You want to queue for not try? Go queue for not try. But I'm queuing for try right now. So you better fucking be trying. Otherwise, you are literally in a game type that is called try.
That wouldn't really solve the problem.
Obviously,
it would give you the ability to just make
refute their bullshit.
It would give you the ability to attempt to make somebody scratch their head, but the dude who has the argument, "Oh, I'm not even trying," isn't gonna fucking scratch his head for you. It's gonna go over his head, and it's not gonna make him scratch. He won't think half a second about the implications of the name of the playlist being called Try, and then he literally says, "I wasn't even trying." Wait, why are you here?
Yes. At least if it's named try, I can just point to that word and move along. I won't feel obligated to just try to explain to him why you should try. Like, I never go out of my way to, like, just shit on somebody, but when they're not actually giving it their all in ranked match, it's like, dude, come on. And then people will be like, hey, that's me being toxic, right? I'm being toxic.
Yeah, you're being toxic, dude.
Because I want the consistency and the legitimacy of each individual round to just be worth playing. Otherwise, if there's some guy throwing or just not trying, it's like, then why am I here? Why am even I here now? I'll just go play something else. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because my experience is being tarnished.
I like your suggestion better. Just make one playlist and then have the ranking system. Have the ranking system.
It can be.
I don't know.
It can be hidden. It doesn't. There doesn't even need to be a ranking system or leaderboards or anything.
MMR needs to exist in, I think, the shooter genre, but I don't. It's tricky subject to, like, it's hard to find a solution because we've said before on the podcast, if you play in a game where the MMR is like really really strict, then you're just going to be playing mirror matches. And here's the thing. So, like, it's kind of give and take because the other day when you were talking about it on the podcast, like, if there is no MMR in the matching making system, games like Call of Duty really benefit from that because you'll be in the lobby and some dude's going to be pile driving everybody in the lobby, and it's not really going to seem like any fun, but he's having a lot of fun.
Right.
And sometimes that guy is you.
Yep. That's why I'm on record to say MMR and ranking systems are not good for games. Period. They're just not.
So if you just had this one playlist, there's no more ranked and there's no more social, and you just have one playlist.
Yeah, one playlist per game type.
Now there's a dude on your team who's like, I'm not even trying. I don't know. You really don't have anywhere to.
There's always going to be
run
that
at
dude,
that point.
But if it's not like a ranked strict MMR experience, then okay. The reason I get upset when I queue ranked in Gears 4 is
It's because you're
I'm
expecting everybody to play as
expecting
if
to
they're
play.
okay.
Right. So if there was only one playlist and it was not ranked and no MMR at all, just completely fast as possible matchmaking times, then I'm cool with it. I'll go in there and have fun, and it'd be awesome. But now,
How about a playlist where your KD within the last 24 hours has to be at least 1? That way it would kind of like if that dude like how negative did that dude go in the lobby where he was going in?
It was like I think he finished like 3 or 4 and 8. It was bad. Like I don't think he was that bad of a player. He was just making bonehead like just run in plays.
Right. So I mean, if he's fucking around and in the last 24 hours of his KD history is just really bad, it's like, well, you're not trying today, so you're not gonna be allowed in this playlist because there's people in there who work really hard for their KD and they don't want you in their game fucking with their gameplay.
Yeah. Right.
I
But
think
You
he's
can
on
go
the
in
right
social.
track.
You can go in social, and you can try, and you can pump your KD up. And once you've proved that you're trying, then you can get in there with all the people
Yeah.
who are actually consistently trying every day.
I think that would be a fine thing if there is going to be social and ranked. Obviously, if there's just one playlist, then everything's off. It's just one playlist. What were you going to say,
Yeah.
Anthony?
I said I think he's on the right track. I think a play instead of social and ranked, I think it should be like you said, like try hard and not try hard, and that's basically the same
Do you
labels.
have
but
even several
you
tiers
were-
of that where you could queue for, let's say your KD is really badass, and your KD is like 2.9.
Yes.
It's really high. You're going to be able to play with other people who are 2.9. It's going to be hard, but everybody on your team is going to be trying just as hard as you. And let's say there's not like tiers. Let's say you unlock tiers. You can always go back to social, and there will be 0 MMR. There's not going to be hidden MMR in social. That doesn't need to be there because it's social. But if you want to play ranked, you're going to get mirror matches because you're climbing the ladder. I think MMR has a place in ranked because it's like the heart of ranked is like
Yes.
everyone's trying as hard
does.
as possible. This is going to be a difficult game because everybody in here is trying just as hard as you. But if you want to just shit on some noobs, then go play social because 80% of the player base is just noobs, and the other 20% of people are like, let's fuck some noobs.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Now,
social's the place.
no, when I say fuck MMR and fuck ranked overall, that please don't mistake me in saying I don't agree with that overall. It is a very relevant system if you are trying to have a platform where you go up through the MMR, earn points, and eventually, like in Hearthstone's situation, have qualify for prelims and to get to the finals or whatever. And I know that's the same with like MOBAs and whatever. I don't know any specifications, but in Gears of War's sake, there's literally no reason to have the MMR at all. They have the esports shit, but you can just like make a team and go if you want to. Like you can just try. You can go into the tournaments, make a team, and just go do some little small ones and see what it's like, and then try to qualify through that means. When it comes to the online competitive ranked system, which is completely separated from esports Gears of War. They're two different things. Whereas in Dota and League and Hearthstone, they want that to funnel in. There's no incentive, they're not incentivizing people that play online Gears of War to move from that to esports. One reason why they wouldn't want to is because there isn't a fucking community anyway. They don't get viewers. Nobody fucking gives a shit. Gears Esports is stupid. It's artificial and it's garbage. It's just to try to get a few bucks. That's all it is. Now, in a game like Dota or League or Hearthstone that's big, they have this like natural flow. If you do good enough, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, that's fine. In Gears' situation, it's not that at all. And when I say fuck MMR, fuck ranking, that's just me just trying to choose the better of the two situations. And at the end of the day, you could either have one playlist and it can be ranked MMR mirror matches, because we need to go to one playlist. Two is retarded. There should not be this and that. There shouldn't be ranked and non-ranked. No. One playlist. Now, do we make it ranked or do we make it non-ranked? I think the better decision overall in terms of enjoying a game and fun for everybody is just to make it non-ranked. Because I loved me some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 with absolutely no fucking MMR, but later Call of Duty started having MMR, and later Call of Duties it was background MMR. So you wouldn't have your fucking 89 and 2 I Got a Harrier LOL games. That was why we played Call of Duty. The game wasn't competitive. It wasn't super strenuously balanced as like some esport. You played it so you could get 3 kills, fucking lay your ass in some grass, fucking camp your heart out, get your fucking Predator missile, drop it, call out a fucking helicopter, hope to God it gets 2 more kills, and then just go fucking to town in a chopper gunner and just shoot ants. That was why you played Modern Warfare 2. It was so fucking fun. That's like always.
And I think that can exist in social, definitely, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now,
Social's the place for that.
time out. Before I go on, I know I'm cutting you off. Jim Rupees brings up a point. Let's not say it was always artificial. Of course, Gears of War esports is 110% artificial. Before Gears of War 4, because Epic never stepped in the ring. Epic was always just hands off. Epic was 100% hands off. PC stepped in the ring and just started pumping it with fucking juice. Try to fucking pump it up to this absolutely abnormal hype level that it ever could be. Before Gears 4, there was homegrown, grassroots, awesome Gears esports. I'm not even trying to shun Gears esports overall. Gears of War 4 specifically is a joke. But go ahead.
I was saying that I think Steven's on the right track, but I don't think, and for like Dota, KD doesn't really mean a whole lot, and for MOBAs in general, to come up with like an algorithm to be able to tell you how well you're doing is kind of sketchy. But I think that if you had a system that took your stats from, like, let's say this week's stats affect where you're going to be placed rank wise next week. And then it will give you like bonus points for doing well in higher ranks when you do like party games, stuff like that, because it's still going to average out and stuff like that.
Say that again. I lost my train of thought at the end.
Oh, okay. So I think KD is probably like,
Yes, right.
I think having MMR based on stats and not based on, like, in Dota, I'm at 1100 MMR and I can only get 20 to 25 to 27. I think the most I've ever seen is 29
Yes.
points up or down per game.
Right, okay.
And it doesn't matter how well I do. If I lose, I'm losing points.
You're saying it would be cooler if we could base the MMR based on like your personal achievements,
My personal
rather
stats.
than just strictly the game, rather than strictly a win-loss. Now I know
Right.
in like Halo 2 back in the day, it was total like win-loss, pretty much. I mean I don't know the logistics behind this, but I remember if you won against teams that were lower ranked than you, you got like almost nothing for it. Which, to be fair, is like to be expected, but it was super punishing whenever you went up against a person that was maybe just 1 or 2 levels above you, and you lose and you fall. It's like, dude, I went down a little bit. Like basically, moral of the story, or what you're trying to get to, yeah, I think MMR does need to be looked at really heavily. If we could if it could be a lot more based on individual accolades, or at least take into consideration, like, because there's games where I'll be lights out in Gears or something, right? But I'll still lose. And it's like, so it'd be nice if the MMR system could at least tell me, hey, this is what happened based on that loss, but your performance. Because for the most part, if I'm lights out and lose, I assume I'm just getting I'm getting negative MMR. But it's like, dude, did you see what I did? I basically almost stopped a plane from flying into the World Trade Center with my bare hands. Like, but no, because I lost, I'm just fucked. So yeah, that is the right track for MMR, and obviously MMR across the board is could be better. But I don't have, if you want my honest opinion, I don't have any faith that it's ever going to get better. That's why I just take the route of saying fuck it all, just fuck MMR.
Right.
Because
I think the better deal that I came up with was, or maybe it's not better, but I don't know. I was trying to get away from, I don't know, kind of having like a permanent record of how well or how bad you do. I was just trying to get the kind of people out of your lobby who just say, well, I'm not even trying.
Right.
So I think within the 24-hour period, maybe you don't play Gears that much, So sometimes your KD isn't going to be very healthy because, like, let's say you only played like one game yesterday, so your 24-hour period is like really really shallow. Probably make it something more like a week. If your KD for the week
Right. But
is
see,
is above or below 1, that would determine whether or not you can play ranked or social. It's like, well, go try a little bit in social, and then when you get above 1, you can come and play in ranked.
yeah. Now, in Gears, I know you don't know this. You're just saying this as a general. KD is like the last fucking stat in Gears of War that matters.
What stat would you what stat would you want to have in that the 7-day?
Honestly, just
period of-
overall points based on the match, because you get
Yeah.
points for assists, points for marking, points for downs. Like KD
Yeah.
is so abusable, especially in the fact that you
his
can just
points are really 1-to-1 comparison to
Yeah.
say, this
I mean-
guy has a lot of points. He was doing very well this match. This guy
Points-
had next to no points. He didn't try. He's one of the guys who
yeah.
just doesn't
Now
try.
the thing there is, it's like you could have low points but also low deaths. So you have, I think, deaths can take away points in a way. I
You
think
should be penalized
I think
for
deaths
dying a
should.
lot.
I think deaths in all for the way Gears of War 4 does it, or Gears of War in general, since
Do
they've
you
been
you
doing
don't
points.
they don't subtract points
Nobody,
from your
nobody,
list for
not
deaths,
not a
right?
single fucking game subtracts points for deaths.
I think they should subtract points.
Yes,
and
that's
that
what I'm
would
getting
roll
at.
that would roll
A
into it.
kill in Gears of War is worth up to 175 points. A spot is worth 30 points. A down is worth the majority of points. If you take somebody else's down, you only get 10 points for that down. But that's a kill, but it's only worth 10 points. So the
Right.
kills are like irrelevant. I mean, I've been in games where I was like 3 kills and like 9 downs, and I'm first in points, and second has like 14 kills. Like it's been that much of a disparity before. So points are directly equal to your success in a game, and not dying. So like if you have 400 points, it's like, oh, that's pretty good because it's not negative, and it might, the system needs to look at it overall. But if you die, let's say you get negative 50 or 75 points, right? There has to be a negative to dying. Obviously, not dying at all and not contributing is much better than just tanking. It is. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, that's only not better if that person has absolutely no skill. There's some times where there's Joe Bob Jim, and he's like, I wish Joe Bob Jim would just AFK and spawn because we'd have a better chance. Because he's 2-19. But for the most part, there are people that might AFK and spawn, and they could have made the biggest difference in the world because they actually are.
What's your average score in Gears of War for points? Like, what do you come out with
well,
most of the time?
it's-
Like 2,000
I
something
mean, it's
for like.
all over the place. There's multiple game modes, multiple points per game modes. I mean, if you're
Let's just say team deathmatch, just to
well,
narrow it down.
So average would be about 950 points for the average. Like
900 and how many?
950.
I get about 300.
950.
Again, you get more than 300. Stop. 950 is average, but that's because there are shitters weighing that average down. There's a big disparity. It's usually like somebody has 2,000 and the bottom guy has 400. Like, the problem is one guy in TDM is going to be able to fucking go ham if he's good at the game. TDM is, again, we're not tangenting anymore, but TDM, just like KD, not a good example because it's not a competitive game type.
If I was going to play Gears of War, I'm definitely not one of the people. Like, I'm going to limit my deaths and everything, but I'm definitely not going to be one of the people who's like, because there's only so many points in a game, right? You can only be killed, and you can only kill the other team so many times in team deathmatch. So there's only so many points to go around. I'm not going to be the guy who's butting heads for points. You're definitely on the top most of the time when I watch you play. So I think you'd probably enjoy the game a lot more if you went into ranked, and not like people are stealing kills from you or anything, but like everybody on your team is their average when they're playing social is
Right.
going to be like above 900 or 1,000 points. So like when you're in game with those people, you're all going to be like, it's not going to be like one guy's going to have 2,000 on the top and the guy on the bottom is going to have 400. You're all going to have like 600 points because it's so even, because everybody's contending for points. Everybody's trying at the same level.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just, when you look at it, I feel like it's just too much work. Work that'll never get done, nobody cares, Gears 5's coming out,
If it could be done, if it could be implemented perfectly, because I don't want to say like, oh, I don't want it to happen because I don't think they'd be able to do it. if it could be implemented perfectly and it was, just not shit, I think it could be a good thing for the game. But you're right. I don't think, especially the who owns Gears of War right now, they haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't heard you
Coalition. And
speak very sweetly of them
they're,
lately.
they're garbage. They're complete trash. Yes, it's unfortunate. The game isn't complete trash. It's not complete trash. It's not good. It's not as good as previous games, but it is what it is. But the people behind the wheel right now, they don't care. It's business. It's business decisions for them. Okay, that they want. It's all about money. So as far as I'm concerned, just make it easier on yourself and just not have ranked. It's really easy. Just completely no ranked. Assist points were where it's at in Gears of War 1. You got 4 points for getting a person full red. It felt good being on top with 5 kills over a guy with 12 kills. Yeah, I mean, same shit happens. I had that shit happen in Gears 4. It's just they added digits afterwards. The iconic He's 4 point came from Gears of War because getting a guy full red on Gears of War was 4 out of 5 points. Now it's 99 out of 100 points. At 100, they go down, and 75 is a full kill. The reason you can get assists above 100 in Gears 4 sometimes is the spot points are additive on top. They don't damage. So if you get a guy at 90 and you spot him, you're getting the 90 plus the 30. Obviously, he would have went down with that much points, but you're getting the spot points as well. But yeah, that's, I mean, to wrap it up, my 2 cents is we need to just do away with it all because I think it's just more entertaining. There was no MMR in Gears of War 1, and there was no ranking system, and it was the hardest I ever tried in my life. So, there you go. I have not tried as hard on any game when it was me, my cousin Larry, my cousin Sam, Dim Rupees in chat, and either Peter or Cop Killer, shout out, I hope you're not dead, or my cousin Patrick when he was a little baby. You know, all those people. When we got into ranked Gears 1, it was life or death, dude. Like, it mattered so much to me to win. And it didn't matter that there was a leaderboard. And there was, there was numerical leaderboards in terms of overall points. But other than that, there was no ranking system, nothing. What incentivized me to win was the pride of actually winning. And being with my group and trying to get better. Aqua Ocean Wolf. Damn. A.K.A. Johnny
Spider says,
Nemesis!
Warren, check out CSGO. I've played CSGO in the past. I didn't really have too much fun with it. I don't like the game type of, or not the game type, but just like it's defuse the bomb. It's what's it called? Search and destroy, basically. I don't like that game mode because that's or not because, but it is the like most popular game type in that game. I know there's like team deathmatch and everything else, but there's a really diluted playlist. And also the most fun I did have in that game.
Hold on, Steven. Hold on. He was saying you should try CS:GO because of the ranking.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't even look into it.
The way they do ranked matches is what you were saying earlier. Sorry, he's like shouting across the room.
With the KD, like
Yeah.
it checks your KD to see if you're allowed to play with certain players. The most fun I had in that game was the gun game, where it's just like you start at the bottom with a pistol and you have to work your way up to more volatile weapons.
Now
And also like when any other game type, I'm pretty sure whenever you spawn in, you have to like buy the gun. So every round when you start off, you have enough money to buy like a basic gun, and then if you do well that round, like the next round, you get to buy a better gun. I just wasn't really into it. The only other shooter I've played like really really hard was what was it called? Combat Arms. It was another PC shooter that I played for a long time, but that was a game where like you bought your gun like at the shop before you went into a lobby, and that was your loadout. So there's like any other Call of Duty game where you have a loadout even before you enter a lobby.
Yeah. Now, you can not like that game mode because it's not your cup of tea, but the reason CSGO does that game mode is it's the tried and true, tested, most efficient, skill-based, competitive game mode.
Right, yeah.
The elimination factor, it's the best game mode ever. I don't like CSGO at all, and that game mode is the best game mode for shooters ever.
There was no MMR in Combat Arms either. I mean, the only thing you can like technically count as MMR was there's different servers that you'd join. So like there was this server, I mean there was the all server, everyone could play on it, and then there was like the veteran server.
Yeah.
You had to be a certain rank to play on that server, and then there was a server that was the KD server. You had to have at least 2.5 KD KD to get on that server. He wouldn't even let you log into it if you didn't. And so getting on that server was like really fun because everybody in there was, I mean, they play to the best of their abilities and nobody would fuck around.
Yeah.
That was primarily where I would play. And I played that game for fucking ages.
Right. Now, more to the point, because it's a tangent that I want to bring up a little bit of, that the bomb type game mode, search and destroy, I don't know what they call it in CS:GO. That game mode needs to be fucking ripped off. Why can't Gears of War or why can't other people do that game mode? Like, execution has always been the cornerstone for esports. Before TC took over the wheel, and they made escalation specifically for esports. And execution is not a competitive game mode. It just doesn't work. There's too many stalemate situations. It's not good. Overall, it's not good. It's a fine game mode online, just like Warzone. Less like TDM, less like Guardian. There's stalemate situations. Now, I give them a little bit of props because they went out and they tried to make a game mode like escalation, and it is balanced. It's a very jumbled, loud, messy game mode. There's a lot to it. It's first to like 7 wins. It can go up to like 14 rounds. It's 3 hill domination. If you cap all 3 hills, it's an insta win. The respawns start to get longer and longer, so deaths start meaning more. And in between rounds, players from the losing side get to have a turn placing weapons on the map to how they want to affect the next round. So I commend them for making something, but that mode is so terrible for online play because it's not jump in, jump out friendly. You're talking like an hour-long game if you get into a really close match. People are going to just quit. Nobody's going to play an hour-long game. People played hour-long games back in 2006. First to 13, Warzone on fucking Fuel Depot. Let's go. But they're not going to do that now, and we're just going to... It's not going to be great. But that game mode that CSGO uses, oh my god. I had a taste of that game mode in Shadowrun because I played... Shadowrun is like CS:GO plus Magic. It's just a reskin of CS:GO for all intents and purposes, and it has classes too. Well, they're lighter classes. They're not like, you don't think Overwatch classes. It's very light. There's like human, elf, dwarf, and troll. And that's it. But there's magic, but they do the whole buy round. It's the same like search and destroy two win state scenario game mode that CS:GO does, and my god, best game mode, hands down. And I would play, like, come on, Shadowrun HD, let's go. I'll buy it right now, $250 on PC. Come on, 300, 400, 500. My bank account, here's my car keys, my cell phone, let's go. Where's it at? I need Shadowrun. My life, that game was sick. Oh, I'd play some Shadowrun, dude. We'd have a Shadowrun channel. We'd have fucking Shadowrun lobbies every night. That'd be sick. But, we're at the 1 hour, 21 minute mark. I think I want to wrap it up here. I didn't get to my subjects, but they weren't...
Just put it in the bank.
They weren't all that interesting, and it's going to be a hard tangent from this awkward transition. So we're gonna call it here. We don't want to go too late. Anthony probably wants to sit around, play Andromeda, soak it up before he goes to bed. So that'll be it for this week. We'll be live next week, same place, same time, Thursday night, 11 p.m. Central Time. Anthony's up on the deck tomorrow, Friday stream, 9 p.m. Hopefully I'm off work by then. I should be. Or no, I don't work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Jesus Christ. Well, hopefully I can enjoy watching Anthony play a game. What are you going to do? Give us a sneak peek. Are you doing Andromeda, or are you going to fail us?
I guess I can do Andromeda. It's just like...
The problem with that
There's a lot of boring shit in Andromeda.
Yeah, I guess it's true. You don't have to do it. It's whatever.
Like, you can watch me drive around a planet and, like, scan minerals.
Yeah, it
and,
is
like,
a very...
scan planets. There's a lot of small, tedious shit in that game, because the plot right now is we, like, send spaceships off into space to find, like, a new Milky Way galaxy that we can populate.
Yes.
Because ours is getting ready to get fucked.
Yep.
And so you get there, and of course the data that we got is like 1 million years old because we took scans and then we left, and in that time shit has happened.
Yeah.
And so the planets that we were gonna inhabit are all fucked. So you go there and you're like trying to like do incremental things to improve the atmosphere and like the way of life and the the aliens that are already there on the planet and shit like that. So it's like right now I'm pretty much driving around getting minerals
Right.
and like making maps.
Yep.
It's pretty boring, but I mean, the occasional combat when you like drive up to a pylon, you're like, hey, I want to, like scan this pylon, and like, no, there's robots here.
Right.
Got to kill the robots first.
All right. Now, wait a minute. Did I see Stephanie? Was that?
Yeah, you did.
Let me see that.
She was checking out the stream.
Let me see that dog. I'm gonna one you up. Let's see. Let's say hi to
Oh, shit.
Persephone. There she is. Boom. Damn. Looking good without that cast.
Yeah, she's
Now
she's not allowed on the
Oh.
camera apparently.
here's the real deal, right?
Oh, that's that fucking time.
Oh, yeah, the real deal, boys. Church.
Oh shit, are we going full church?
Look at this. This is a hunk of meat right here. There you go. Spread it out for the camera, Church. There you go.
It's gigantic.
Here, stand up. Stand up.
Dear
Yeah.
God.
That's the real deal right there. Church in the house. He obviously, he wasn't ready to get picked up. He's just like, dude, are you serious with that? But yeah, he's right here. Church, keeping it on the lowdown. Got to get him in. All right, everybody. That's it for this week. We'll be back. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Have a good one.
See ya.
Later.